And I mean, I need to have a list of guys because that's what makes me comfortable, but they're all people that I have really serious chemistry with, because sometimes I like things that are a little more maybe adventurous or extreme, and you really need to trust your partner when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You really need to know your person, and
they're not gonna like kill you.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Here, sign this disclaimer.
Just so it doesn't go too far.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing though, and I find, I mean, just like in a relationship, it is a relationship of sorts. I have feelings for the people that I work with on a friendship level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I care about them to an extent. I'm not saying I go out with them or hang out with them, but there is an interest in them. And as a result, when I'm booked with people that I'm really comfortable with, scenes are so much better. And I hate faking it. Oh, I hate it. Like, that's my pet peeve, is to watch a movie and the people aren't into it. You can tell. I can watch and tell, and I'm sure fans can do the exact same thing.
I can.
Yeah, for sure.
So you kind of mentioned a little bit, you touched on the difference between the professional and the personal. Has it ever created issues in your personal relationships? I mean, I think that's a natural, I'm curious.
I think it's a really good question, and I should say, I got into the business single. And when I did, all of my friends in Texas were like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. You're going to go off to California, found in some hotel room all strung out on drugs while like sleazy guys with gold chains and greasy hair, make these dirty movies of you. It couldn't have been further from the truth, from what actually happened. I mean, it was just such a comfortable situation. But still, they didn't really understand. My friends from before didn't really get it. Mm-hmm. So we didn't talk for a while. And then I became a little bit bigger of a name, and those people came back to me. Usually they were hitting me up for free porn.
Right.
Or, do you know Ron Jeremy, or something like that. As far as relationships go, I was married to a male performer for a brief time after having said I would never date anybody in the industry. And when we got married, it was like a night and day difference. We were great dating, but when we got married, everything went to hell.
Yeah.
It was just really difficult for us. We didn't split up because of the business. We split up because it just didn't work,
right.
Because marriage is hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard in general. Yeah. Now throw porn into it,
Right.
And then after that, I was single for a little while, and I dated two civilians. And one of them was like, oh, your job is so cool. Mm-hmm. 2 months into it, he was like, well, what do you mean you have to go to work today? And you're going to do what with who? And then all of a sudden he was really jealous, didn't want to introduce me to his friends. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was a really big problem because I'm really open with what I do. The other guy that I dated, we went out a couple of times. I just met him in a social situation, restaurant bar type. And I thought that I owed it to him to tell him what I did for a living. We had been out a few times, and I thought, well, maybe we're going to do it. So before I do it with somebody, I'm going to make sure they, if
Is it totally different having sex with somebody, though, who's a professional at it?
Yeah. Here. Hiring a construction worker versus building your own IKEA furniture.
That's a good analogy. Sure.
Really, cooking ramen noodles, having a chef.
How intimidating that must be, though, for the IKEA guy.
But I thought I owed it to him. I thought because it's more than just safety reasons. Sure. I also think that.
But don't you think he would have got it once you did the dismount? You're like, yes. I think you've done this a bit before.
You have a little experience. So I took him, and we were at dinner, and I was like, look, before this goes any further, I have to tell you something. I need to tell you what I do for a living. And before I could get it out of my mouth, he was like, oh, I know, I knew who you were when I met you. I have your movies, and this and that and that. I'm like, that's officially creepy. Yeah. Check. And that was it. So those were my two civilians. And then after that, I started seeing somebody in the business, and it was only going to be on a friendship / booty call basis, because I figured that's all I really had room for in my life, because I work a lot. I'm a workaholic. And it turned into a lot more, and I've been with him for 7 years.
Oh.
Wow.
And I
Good for
don't.
you.
I thank you. And I don't really normally, and I think this is probably the reason we've been together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I don't really talk about our relationship on record, but I will say that we found what works for us. He's in the business, and it's good, and we're really comfortable. I won't get married again, though. I won't do
Right.
it. It was too expensive to get out of.
Well, in your business, I know that males are sort of your target
Yeah.
audience and the females are the fringe, but you are reaching out now to the
Yeah.
females, which I just think is awesome. And
love
I think
women.
the walls are starting to come down a little bit for women in that, we're all adults.
Yeah.
We all have sex.
Absolutely.
And we all would like to be better at it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
how-
even me, I would do.
Yeah,
Me too, always. It's an
Oh, don't
ever-
say. That's so intimidating for the everyday woman.
No. I think, but sex is an ever-changing, ever-growing, evolving process, and there's always stuff that you can learn. And what happened was, I've been doing signings, and I go to strip clubs, and lines of guys.
Right.
And in that line would be a couple of very uncomfortable women, and they'd be like, God, what am I doing here? Can we go? This line is too long. I don't want to look at anybody. But that started to change, and I think that the internet really had a lot to do with that, because not only did the internet provide guys with a source of anonymity to search out the really kinky things that they want to see but they don't want to go into a store and buy, it also made women very comfortable about seeing all the different things that are out there, and a lot of it is very women friendly. Like,
Right.
Wicked has always catered to women and couples, and so as I did more signings, especially the past 3 or 4 years, those lines had more women in them, and they were more comfortable, and they'd pick up product and ask me questions, and then they'd ask me more questions.
Right.
And then I got to where I was talking to a lot of women, and they would come to strip clubs to see me. I give them lap dances. I love women.
Ooh,
I
can I
love women.
have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse
Yay.
us.
Well, no, listen.
Not right now.
Okay, not right now. No, but tonight is ladies' night, and you've got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about, and that's what ladies' night is about, is giving the ladies an opportunity to come into Guilty Pleasures.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any guys or
Yeah.
anything. Not that you ever would. It is the classiest
It's really
adult
nice.
store I
It's
have
big.
ever been into.
Big and
It's
beautiful.
huge. Their selection, I bought a Zeppelin from there. They are the only people that have the Liberator furniture. I love my Zeppelin. It's a gigantic
It's
love
amazing.
ship.
Yeah.
But we're going to be at
Yeah.
Guilty Pleasures tonight for ladies only
And a seminar.
and a seminar.
Yeah.
Sex for the Wicked Woman.
Yep.
And tomorrow night it's for the gents.
It is. Tomorrow night is for the guys. So tomorrow night will be a little bit different than tonight. I'm not doing a seminar, but I am signing all of my DVDs. I
Okay.
give recommendations. If you have something specific that you like, I can tell you where to find it. And I can give toy recommendations, lube recommendations, because I'm very familiar
Yeah.
with lube.
You
and
should be.
So what's the
toys.
best one? What's
Gun
the best
oil.
one?
Gun oil.
Gun oil.
Absolutely.
Gun
I like
oil.
gun oil, but it also depends on what you like. There's
Okay.
so many different silicone, water-based.
Tingle Factor.
Or organic, yeah. Tingle Factor, which I am not such a big fan of. But I can tell you what lubes are good for what. What type of sex act is good for what lube. And, toys, too. I can give a lot of toy recommendations.
Okay, give your podcast another plug. I'm sure we'd love to see you
Yay!
again.
Plug for my podcast. It is the STFU Show, and you can find it at stfushow.com, or you can download it for free on iTunes, and you can be a subscriber, and you should rate the show, and you should tell your friends too.
Okay.
And wicked.com. And jessicadrake.com.
We'll see you tonight at Guilty Pleasures.
Mwah.